This is Music, and this is yet another special edition of First Impressions. Welcome to another special edition of First Impressions. Now in these videos I normally share with you my first impressions of the many blind buys I've picked up over the last couple of years. However, I've been lucky enough to receive a bunch of really cool VCLTs lately, and most of them contained mostly stuff that I'd never heard before, so I'm making a bunch of special edition videos to follow up on those. So in this video I will share with you my first impressions of a fantastic VCLT that I got from Thor's MusicHammer, formerly known as Music Sucker. By the way, if you are a music enthusiast, if you love music on vinyl, if you love music on CD, not the labels, maybe those labels too, but if you love those formats, go and check out Thor's MusicHammer. He shows all sorts of genres, from you can have Miley Cyrus and Cannibal Corpse in the same video. So there you go. Check out his channel. It's great stuff. So his VCLT to me contained no less than 5 LPs or 5 vinyl, and that's just amazing. And I hadn't heard any of those before, and it might shock you to know that I had not heard Dokken's Beast from the East before. Silly as it might sound, I am probably very late to the Dokken party, because the name Dokken, if you're not a native speaker of English and your native language is Danish and you're just a kid back when Dokken, were really popular, the name Dokken sounds silly. It's not as awesome or cool as Iron Maiden or Metallica or Megadeth or Anthrax or whatever. It sounds a bit silly, especially if you don't know that it's basically just a surname. So I'm late to the Dokken party, but I arrived nonetheless. So Jacob from Thor's MusicHammer was really generous and sent me this fantastic, I must add, live album. Features lots of really awesome songs on here, fantastic guitar work by George Lynch, right? Just some great face-melting guitar solos, really fantastic stuff. So great riffs, great songs, fantastic musicianship. Really enjoyed listening to this. Now, although I'm very much a Dokken newbie, I have learned that Dokken's vocals, I always have to get used to them when I listen to a Dokken release. I learned that already when I heard the first Dokken release ever, and that was Best Of that Christian Osorio sent to me. So thanks to Jacob and Christian for inviting me to the Dokken party. Anyways, so I've learned that I really like Dokken's voice when he belts out rock and roll vocals, but when he croons, because he has a crooning singing style that he also uses in some songs, that takes some getting used to for me. Now fortunately this is all out rock and roll belting, so Dokken sounds amazing on this live album too. Great stuff. I really enjoy listening to this. Jacob also sent me this cool Dokken release, The Lost Songs 1978 to 1981. Check out this cover artwork, it's amazing. Now this one is very interesting. I think it features or contains unreleased songs and demo tracks and stuff like that. I've heard rumors that they doctored a bit with some of the songs and re-recorded some parts. Don't know if it's true, don't care, because I think this is a very interesting listen, especially because Dokken, they're kind of the epitome of 80s heavy metal and 80s hard rock in many ways. But 1978, so a good handful of the songs on here, they're like 70s hard rock. That's really interesting to hear. You also do have some you know, all out 80s metal songs too. Lots of Dokken belting, which I appreciate, but there's also some Dokken crooning on some of the songs, so that's again something I just had to, you know, attune my ears to. But very interesting release here. I really enjoyed listening to it. I think if you are a hardcore Dokken fan, this is probably something that's worthwhile picking up for you. I was just lucky to get it for free and really enjoyed it. Up next, this might also be a surprise that I'd never heard before. Yngwie Malmsteen, Eclipse. I don't know if you can see it, but he does do the trademark Malmsteen pouty mouth. Anyways, yeah. I never really got into Yngwie Malmsteen either, so I don't think I've heard a Malmsteen album from beginning to end until now, and that's this one here. And of course, Yngwie Malmsteen is a legendary guitar shredder, known for neoclassical, you know, just madness basically. And there's a lot of that on here too, but one thing that surprised me a lot was so many just good songs on here. You know, well composed songs. A lot of attention has been paid to the riffage as well and the composition. So I really appreciated that. You do have just over the top guitar shredding and, you know, neoclassical madness. And you know what? It works great. I actually quite enjoyed it. I really liked listening to this one. Maybe I should start, you know, picking up some Yngwie Malmsteen and checking that out a bit more seriously. So again, thanks to Jacob for also inviting me very late again to the Yngwie Malmsteen party. So that's great. I appreciate that. Up next, Italian heavy metal, Strana Officina. 80s heavy metal. This one is self-titled. Really interesting stuff. They sing in Italian on a lot of the songs. This one on side A, you have an EP with just straight up 80s heavy metal stuff. No nonsense. Really enjoyable stuff. I really like the authentic 80s metal production on here, and the songs are good. If you are kind of a High Roller Records enthusiast, although this is out on Jolly Roger Records, I think this should be right up your alley too. On side B, you have some live stuff and some demos, so they're a bit more rough around the edges in terms of the production. And the live stuff, the singer goes a bit over the top, but whatever. Really enjoyable stuff. I really liked listening to this, especially the side A. That was really great stuff. And another Strana Officina. This one is called Ritual, and this is a similar story where you have on side A you have an EP, and on side B you have some demo stuff and you have some live stuff. And this is also great, just 80s heavy metal. The EP is a bit more rough around the edges production wise. It's drowned in reverb because that's what they did back then. The vocals are really loud in the mix. The guitar solos are really loud in the mix. The drums are just really big sounding. Lots of bottom to them. The bass sounds great actually, and it's sort of in the middle. And then the rhythm guitar is really low in the mix. But you know, it just makes it sound even more 80s. So that's great. Great songs on here too. This is interesting because here, the first song on side B, which is from a kind of says Sessions 1985, so I assume it's a demo. This sounds better than the official releases on side A in terms of production. And then you have some pretty cool live stuff as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed listening to both of these Strana Officina records because I do like, you know, that just old school 80s heavy metal. So 5 just amazing records. I enjoyed listening to all of them. So again, thanks to Thor's MusicHammer for sending that VCLT my way. If any of the albums I just talked about, if any of them sounds like something for you, I can vouch for every single one of them. You can check them out if you wish to do so. Well, I don't need to give you my permission to do that. You can do whatever you want. Anyways, go and check out Thor's MusicHammer. Thanks for watching.